Welcome to Midlife Unlimited Live, the podcast for women who want more. And rather special guest today, because the fabulous Rae Dillon, founder of Copyright Right, is not only my number 70 guest, but we're talking about our episode that's out now, that's a subject close to both our hearts, because who hasn't got a bucket list? How to scratch our midlife travel itch. So welcome, Rae. It's fabulous to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's fabulous to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, I said episode 70, whoop, whoop, is available now wherever you listen to your podcast and via the Midlife Unlimited podcast website. But I like to do a little video podcast as well, because not everyone has 50 odd minutes to put headphones on and listen to us chatting away. So we're going to share some golden nuggets from our full length episode. We might even have some brand new stuff. Who knows? Who knows where we're going to go? It's rather exciting, as is the whole idea, just like what I did then, of travel. And you've set yourself, I know we like a segue, you've set yourself a rather fabulous, and I'm a little bit envious, challenge.
Yep.
For how many countries and by when? Fill the viewers in.
So my challenge for myself is to visit 100 countries by 2038, which is when I will turn 60. Yeah. So yeah, because realistically, I was like, I was going to go for 50, and then I thought, no, that's not going to happen. But realistically, I can do it by 60 because I'm already on 73 countries.
I know, so you're racking them up. And to say, already this year, I mean, when we had our initial brainstorm, viewers, she was only in the Dominican Republic. I was in slightly wet and windy Buckinghamshire. I wasn't at all jealous.
No, of course not. Why would you be?
But we do make a lot of excuses to ourselves in midlife, don't we? We've got this bucket list, or whatever you want to call it. I know the phrase bucket list is overused, but you know, we're thinking, no, we don't want to just sit on our backsides. We actually want to go out. There's a big wide world out there. We want to explore. We want to make fabulous memories.
Absolutely.
But we don't take that. We have a vision board. Oh yes, lovely. We're going to do this. We talk about it. But it's that next step, isn't it? It's actually the physical, and you share so many brilliant tips about actually taking that step from having the vision, having the want, to not making any more excuses and booking it.
Just book it. Just book it. Just do it. So one tip I have is, because I know so many people who get to like November, December, and they're like, oh, I've got so many days of holiday left from work, to use up. I can't fit it all in. Let's just book something. Or they end up staying at home or just taking it over Christmas or whatever. My advice would be to plan out in like January, or even before that, December for the following year, when you're going to take your holidays. Put it in your calendar now, obviously with a question mark, but book the time off work now. Right then. And then you've got it set. You're not going to run out of time at the end of the year. You're going to spread it out over the year so that you can pace yourself and have decent breaks from work. It makes such a difference in that.
Absolutely. I say, even viewers who are not necessarily working, it's still a really good idea to bring some structure to a year, isn't it? Because life changes. And one thing you said just now that is very much a great tip that you share as well. You said, put a question mark, maybe. Being flexible. Because yes, we might have this bucket list. I'm going to refer to it as that, as a generic term. Wish list, wanna go list, whatever you want to call it. But by being rigid, we can miss out on so much, can't we? And I do listen to viewers. I come up with this phrase that made me laugh because it's my childish sense of humor, but I'm all about embracing our childlike qualities. The number 2 destinations, because you've had some amazing holidays. But yes, we all want to do Paris, Berlin, New York, etc. But they can almost be a bit of a disappointment, because we've seen so many photographs of Paris in the spring. It's going to be like this. And then you're like, well, yeah. I mean, not dissing Paris. Paris, you're beautiful.
Love Paris. Love Paris.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
It is expensive. But if you go a bit off the beaten track, and there's a good tool on Skyscanner, where you can put in dates, or even a whole month. You don't have to put in specific dates. You can put in a whole month and just search everywhere. And it will come up. You can order it in price, order a price lowest to highest. And it will tell you all the destinations you could go to within that month, and it'll have the cheapest prices. So then you can pick and choose where to go based on your budget.
And there's a good chance that it's going to fling up some places. You're going to go, I need to get my atlas out. I need to Google this. Where is that? Because some of the places you've been, I admit, I've never heard of them.
Do you know what? I hadn't heard of them until I found the flights to them. So I live in Milton Keynes. Luton Airport is our nearest airport, and Wizz Air flies out of Luton Airport. And they have loads of really good deals. If you can fly with just a small bag, the one you can fit under the seat, and like we bought special ones that fit all the airlines to make sure that they will fit. You can get flights for like 50, 60 quid to all over Europe and to random places. So we've been to Plovdiv in Bulgaria, Kaunas in Lithuania, Košice in Slovakia, Constanta in Romania, you know, all these random places that honestly I hadn't heard of until I saw, oh, these are really good prices on these flights, 50, 60 quid. Where are these places? Let's have a look. And they were all really good places to visit, like amazing, so much history, so many things to do. We did loads of walking tours, like self-guided walking tours around all the kind of old parts of the city. Plovdiv has had people living there for about 8,000 years and has got loads of amazing Roman things, like there's a Roman theatre that they still use for shows because it's in that good condition. So, you know, it's fantastic.
And the brilliant thing is, you're not, we talk about baggage. Yes, you're taking some baggage, and we'll mention baggage in a minute because you go into fantastic detail of tips and advice on that. But we're not bringing in the baggage of preconceptions when we go to somewhere that is brand new, isn't it? So in terms of making memories, we're not swayed by, oh no, so and so said this was going to be. No, we're discovering these places. It's like, oh, it's such an adventure.
Absolutely, yeah, it's brilliant because, like you said, you don't have those preconceived ideas or expectations of what it might or might not be like. So you can just go and experience all brand new. Yeah.
Okay. We will go on to the baggage, don't let me forget. But two other things have sprung to mind. Two excuses that I hear from the wonderful women, and now a couple of men as well, that I've been working with.
Yeah.
It's all changing, isn't it? Everything's changing. And obviously we might be married with kids that have now flown the nest. We're looking at our partner and thinking, do I really want to go with you away with you? Or he or she, you know, your partner wants to go one place, you want to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
You don't want to have an argument. So, and again, and friendship groups, you might have always been away with a group of friends, but for whatever reason, bereavement, you just don't actually get on very well anymore. The thought of going away with them another year is driving you round the bend. And that's another conversation to have. but actually thinking, I'm going to go on my own. It's doable. It's scary. But it's doable, isn't it? And you've had some amazing trips on your own.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, the first trip I ever took by myself, it was years ago now. When would it have been? 2010, I think it was. The first time I went by myself. It was the summer, and all my friends were either had kids or had work or couldn't afford it, and I wanted to go somewhere. And so I literally just looked up on EasyJet and booked a trip to Copenhagen because that was the cheapest, worked at the time. And it just so happened that Pride was on that weekend that I didn't even know until I got there. So that was fantastic. So I was watching them all set up and everything. This random guy started talking to me who was a little bit dodgy, you know.
There's always one. Yeah.
There's always one. Yeah. But this woman walked past, and I'd said I was waiting for my friend. And this woman walked past, obviously saw that I was a bit kind of, and came over and started talking to me because, you know, so many women are like that. And, you know, you can spot if someone's kind of in a bit of difficulty. And so she came over, started chatting. The guy left, luckily, but we became friends. And she'd recently moved to Copenhagen as well. We decided to meet up, went to the museum the next day, had lunch, that kind of thing. And then it was her birthday a couple of days later. So she invited me round for tea and cake. I was like, that would be lovely. You know, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And she had one other friend that was coming over. So I met her at the metro station, and I'd been like out all day. It was 30-degree heat, middle of August. You know, I was whole hot and sweaty, bright reds, all of this. And we're walking along this street, and there are all these massive houses, like mansions, you know. And I was like, where are we going? Where does she live? And it turned out she was the au pair for the Canadian ambassador to Denmark. And so I had tea and cake in the green drawing room of the Canadian ambassador's house with the Canadian ambassador and his wife and my new friend.
Rather fabulous cakes as well.
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah, it was an ice cream cake. It was brilliant.
Oh, well, August. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to forget. I've had my fingers crossed so I don't forget. In our audio episode, viewers, it's available now wherever you get your podcasts. We go into, because I asked so many questions, we go into detail about baggage, about passports, about currency, about all sorts of things. But there are a few takeaways from that have really stuck with me. And it's the whole idea of, as you said, you and your wife bought your bags that fit every airline. And it's about double checking, isn't it? Because I've heard so many, I don't know if horror stories is the right word, because the information is out there, but lack of information that's caused problems.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. I mean, you always see people getting on planes and you think, are their bags going to fit? But maybe they've paid for the extra and you don't know, you know. I would recommend, if you can, if you're just going for a long weekend, just take the small bag, because you can fit it under the seat. You're so much quicker getting out. You're so much quicker getting on and settled. You don't have to find a space in the overhead compartments. And a lot of the time now, it's actually more expensive to add that wheelie hand luggage than it is to have checked baggage, because the planes are running out of space because so many people are just bringing hand luggage. So if you're going for a week, it might actually be better to have checked luggage. And then you still just have the small bag to actually take on the plane. So
well, a couple of times, recent trips, because my boy and I, hello Finley, we love going on mum and Finley breaks, city breaks. But the last couple of times we did have the trundle, but it was it was cabin size. But they still took the cabin luggage, can't think of the right word. I'm so excited I want to go away again. And actually from quite a few, including us, and put it in the hold because the plane was so full. So we still had to wait.
Exactly. So you might as well pay the cheaper and have the checked luggage, and then you don't have the hassle of that side.
It wasn't oversized. It was just the fact that they, for some reason, I don't know why they do it. And say currency was another thing as well, wasn't it? About doing your homework.
Yeah, absolutely. Always check the currency, because a lot of countries, obviously, some of them only use cash. Although we're kind of used to using cards and phones now, it's always a good idea to have a little bit of cash. Even places that predominantly use card, if you're going to go to a market or a little local street food place, they're going to take cash. So make sure you have some cash. And also, there's a lot of countries that actually use like American dollars or other currency as well as their own. So that's another thing to check as well. So there's a few countries in Asia that use American dollars, and in like the Caribbean, that kind of thing. And check the requirements. So when I went to Myanmar years ago, about 10 years ago, you could only get Myanmar currency when you were in the country. So you couldn't get it before. But they also use American dollars. But they would only accept pristine American dollars. So ones that weren't folded.
And how often do you get that? Unless you actually go to a bank and request it?
Yeah. Well, we had to like order currency specially. And even then, there were a couple of notes that had been folded in half. And obviously we were reusing them and they weren't accepted.
Goodness me.
And I think it's a bit better there now. Obviously, this was 10 years ago, so things changed. Yeah. But I'm just using it as an example of check the situation, check what's accepted, you know, and sometimes they wouldn't accept the smaller notes. They'd only accept large dollar bills as well. They wouldn't accept ones and fives.
But it's all about planning, isn't it? Even if you're going on a last minute trip, there are still things that you can do. I mean, we talk about the idea of perhaps even having your bag ready packed and ready to go.
Yeah, I have certain things that are in my bag all the time. So I've got like a little phone holder that you can clip onto the tray table, so you don't have to hold your phone if you're watching a movie or whatever.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, they're really cheap. You look them up online, travel phone. But we saw someone else using them on a plane, and we're like, "Ooh, that's a good idea. Going to get one of those." So things like that, hand sanitizer, tissues are always really good to carry everywhere, because you just never know what the toilet's going to be like.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely. Sunscreen. Get miniatures, obviously, if you're just doing weekends. Either miniatures, like from hotels, things like that. You can buy them in Boots. And things like, obviously most hotels have shampoo, soap, shower gel, etc. So you shouldn't need to bring stuff like that. But if you do, I have a solid shampoo. Lush does a great one. And solid conditioner and soap. And then I don't have any liquids. So I don't have to worry about taking stuff out of my bag to go through security if it's one where you have to take out liquids and everything.
No, that's brilliant. I would say I haven't heard any more about it on the news, but when we recorded, I had heard something on the news about a change in the limitations on liquids. But as you brilliantly pointed out, again, forewarned, it's all very well saying, oh, we can leave Luton, Heathrow, Gatwick or whatever with this other amount of liquid, but it's on the way back, isn't it? And if you thought, oh, I'll take that perfume with me, for example, it could be a very expensive mistake, couldn't it?
Absolutely. So yeah, if you just stick to under 100 mils or just take as few liquids as possible. So I think the only liquid I take is hand sanitizer in a little thing. And that's it, the only liquid. And then bring a refillable water bottle as well. And then you don't have to spend a fortune buying water. There's normally water refills most places. Things like that saves you money too. And then you've always got water to take around with you as well. Protein bars are good if you're not sure what the food's going to be like on the plane. Take a couple of protein bars, but don't pack a load of them together in your hand luggage, because you'll get pulled aside, because apparently they can look like dynamite.
But these are all things to know. Aren't they? Because another great tip, I asked obviously about Wi-Fi internet, because you don't know what it's going to be like where you're going. No. I'm presuming that, I don't like presuming, but airports are probably quite a good bet. But in terms of pre-downloading apps that you think you're going to need, do it before you go, rather than thinking, oh, I'll do it when I get there. And then you're like, oh, I can't.
Yeah, do it before you go. So a couple of good ones are obviously a translation app is a good thing to have on your phone, whichever one you prefer. But also pre-download the language for the place you're going to onto the app so that you can use it offline. And then if you don't have Wi-Fi, you've still got access to it. And also make sure you download English as well, so that you can translate everything into English.
Into what? Translate into what? So the big question is, obviously, when we first spoke for our little brainstorm before we recorded our audio episode, available now wherever you get your podcasts, you were in the wonderful Dominican Republic. I've not been. My mum and sister have and loved it. So the big question is, where is next? You're on 73 and your blog as well. All the links are in the show notes.
Yeah.
Where's next?
So we haven't booked anything yet, but there's a couple of places we're looking at. I know we're leaving it last minute. We might go to Morocco in kind of April, May time.
Ooh.
Haven't been there yet, so that'll be country 74. And then we're planning a big trip next year to Ecuador and the Galapagos Islands.
Oh, that is going to be amazing.
Yeah, so that's why we haven't booked anything yet this year, because we're saving up pennies for that next year, basically. But yeah, so that will be hopefully country 75.
But as you say, within all that as well, you always allow, which I love, always around, put my teeth in, I'm so excited, flexibility and spontaneity.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, we block out weeks during the year, and although we haven't booked anything yet, we'll probably book something. Sometimes it's miles in advance, like Galapagos next year. Sometimes it's like 2 weeks before we go, let's go somewhere. And then we just see what the deals are, basically, and go somewhere random. I love going random places.
Oh, absolutely. I was just thinking, before I let you go, we're talking about, obviously flights, and a lot of people watching might be worried about carbon footprints, but we're living in this amazing country, and we're both UK based.
Yep.
There are so many places to explore, aren't there? And rail cards, an option, and bus coach travel as well, if you don't want to drive.
And trains. You know, trains in this country are expensive, but if you go over to Europe or Asia, trains are a lot cheaper. So I've done 1 year. This was one of my favorite trips. So I used to live in China, as I mentioned to you. 1 year, I got the train, several trains, from Beijing to England. So so it was 6 weeks. So from Beijing into Russia, Ukraine, Poland, Austria, Germany, France, Czech Republic as well. France, and then here, and got the train all the way to Milton Keynes. That was amazing. 7 countries in 6 weeks, but 3 weeks was Russia because it's massive.
I was going to say, it's huge. I don't know what I was watching the other day, and there was a map, and my partner went, Russia's so big, isn't it? It's just, you think of Australia being massive, but
yeah, Russia's so much bigger. Yeah, but like the trains were so cheap and so good. So like we got, for example, an overnight train from Ukraine to Poland, and we got first class. So we got a little cabin, me and my friend, got breakfast, and it was £10 each.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So although some places further afield, they might be a bit more expensive to get to, once you're there, it's quite often a lot cheaper than it is here. Or you can be cheap, you know, if you eat locally, stay in like local hotels rather than big chains, things like that, you can get some really good deals.
Yeah. Because I say, obviously, some of the people watching are going to be thinking, well, their list of musts are different, but everyone is different, and that's what it's all about. And you know, obviously the chat we've had today and on the full length episode, it's a pick and mix. Pick the tips you like, pick the inspiration you like, but whatever you do, stop making excuses to yourself. Dust off that passport, but go and check it's valid for long enough. That's another thing we touch on. Go to the government website and check out that. And obviously you're going to want to go and connect with Rae. All her details are on the show notes and on the Midlife Unlimited podcast website. But obviously, there are lots of ways to work with you, because we don't really talk about what you actually do. But you know, your copywriting expertise. So talk us through, how can anyone that thinks I need to be focusing on that before I go traveling, and obviously your blogs as well. Talk us through.
Sure. So I've got a travel blog, which is persephonetravels.com. And then my business is Copyright Right. So I do writing and editing for small businesses, and also training. So if you're not confident with your writing for your business, I can train you on how to write blogs, how to do social media, things like that, to make sure that you write content that attracts clients and drives sales, essentially. So I've got a masterclass coming up on the 18th of March. For all about setting up a blog for your business and how to get that started, bit on keyword research, SEO, that kind of thing. All the links you can find, as Kate said, on the thing. And also you can just go to our website, copywriteright.co.uk.
So the links we're using, they'll help anyone wanting to go. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Gosh, we're good. We're so efficient, aren't we? And obviously links are all there for getting in contact with her. Public TV. I'm too excited today. Episode 70. Oh my goodness.
It's an exciting thing.
I know. Come and get in touch. All my details are on there, and there's details of how you can work with me one-to-one or with the all-in-one coaching program. So Rae, thank you for joining me today on the day our episode comes out, to celebrate us, to celebrate this wonderful planet, the opportunities available, and turning 70 episodes old as well. Thank you for watching. Episode every week, every Thursday, an audio episode, and most weeks I get the chance to catch up with my guest here on LinkedIn and YouTube. So thank you, Rae, for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Here's to being fabulous, flourishing together, dusting off our passports, and living Midlife Unlimited. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.